Yo, Eric, we're over here on the paranormal hunt, and I headed over to this other building, and it's number 13. What is this someone on? My God.
All right, it's a Monday, brand new week, fresh week. Oh, some alarms went off my phone. Of course it did. Now, today we're talking about what's the story of the Winchester Mystery House. Everybody knows the story. I mean, everybody has heard of it. I don't know how much story and knowledge somebody has about it. There's been movies made about it, books, whatever you name it. Winchester Mystery House. Now, I got a lot of cool websites, but before I go to a website, I do have a video called the Winchester Mystery that's kind of explains it a little bit, just in case some of you have never heard of the story. And I decided, you know what? If I find a good video, I'm gonna play it. I'm not gonna play scared, where if it gets paused in the middle with, you guys know what I'm talking about with the YouTube stuff going on, you can't be scared. You just got to do it. You got to play, take the chances, and roll with the punches. Because if you don't, then all we're going to have is, boring shows that we can't say this, we can't say that. Oh, Anthony, you're not supposed to say that. Screw that. We got to be ourselves.
Right.
And, it's one of the things is, so be it in a way, it
is what it is.
It is what it is, because you can't, there's such gray areas of what's considered their truth or false. And, where Anthony and I do is we talk about possibilities of stuff that could be true or not. But some other people could take it as, oh, they're trying to spread that this is true. No, we're just giving it our opinions, but that's the world we live in. Nothing we can do about it. And let me pull up, let me see, episode 56. Let me see here. Is it One on the Moon? Is it Mystery House? Odd History. Here we go. This is the Winchester Mystery House.
Picture a mansion with 160 rooms, 10,000 panes of glass, 17 chimneys, 47 fireplaces, doors that lead to nowhere, stairs that lead to nowhere, and even a wardrobe that opens into 30 extra rooms. While it may sound like something out of a strange fantasy movie, it actually exists in San Jose, California, and the story behind the person who built the house is just as strange as the house itself. Sarah Winchester was the wife of gun tycoon William Winchester of the Winchester Repeating Arms Company. The company was famous for its rifles, especially the Model 1873, which became known as the gun that won the West. When William died of tuberculosis in 1881, Sarah inherited around $20 million, which is around $500 million today, and also inherited 50% ownership of the Winchester Arms Company. Sarah had already been struggling with depression over the death of her infant daughter years ago, and her husband's death seemed to send her over the edge. She was obsessed with the notion that she had been cursed by people who had been killed by Winchester rifles. She sought the help of a medium named Adam Coons, who held a seance and claimed to channel her husband when he told her that she needed to move west and build a home for the ghosts of people who had fallen victim to Winchester rifles.
I'm going to pause it for a second, and I'm going to continue it. I know we kind of talked about this before and stuff about people playing with your head. And, like I asked Anthony, would you ever go under, get hypnotized and stuff? And, like you're saying yourself that you don't want to have somebody like mess with your head in a lot of ways. And think about this. she's already dealing with depression from the daughter and the husband. So she's in a point very low in her life. I mean, very, very low. I'm not saying the medium there is real or not, or hoax, but it's very easy for somebody who's not a medium to go in there because they already got you at the low point. What do they say? Like in the Bible, it's easy for the devil to possess somebody when they're at their bottom, drinking, drugs, whatever.
When they're at their weakest.
They're at their weakest. So I just want to bring that out, you know. So this person is at its weakest. So sometimes when you hear, oh, this medium said what? There's no evidence of the medium she talked to is real. So you guys got to remember that if you're dealing, I'm not a doctor here. I'm not trying to claim doctor, but if you're dealing with some kind of depression, you might not want to go to somebody like a medium or somebody that's going to mess with your brain, hypnotize. You might want to think twice because you're at your low point, and they kind of know that they could feed you half the truth, and you're going to believe it. Not saying you will, but you can. I just wanted to bring that out there.
It's true.
Even though the psychic was likely a scam artist, Sarah believed them wholeheartedly. So in 1884, she packed her bags and moved to San Jose, California, and began construction on her ghost house. 22 carpenters work year-round, 24 hours a day.
You guys hear that? According to this, he was proving a scam artist. Now, of course, we weren't there. We don't know the guy. We don't know if that's made up. But a scam artist put stuff in her head. She moving out, and that's when the house being built.
A day for 38 years to placate Sarah's every wish. They worked without a floor plan, following her directions to a T, even if they make no sense. Like building the door.
I gotta pause 1 second because I didn't know this. Cassie, Oracles and Beyond says my stepmom worked there for years.
That's awesome.
That is awesome because if there's any truth to any of the story, I would think that the stepmom might have experienced some of it. Not because, listen, we all know if you go to a haunted place, it's not guaranteed to be haunted for you. But if you're there for a period of time, you would think there would be something. So while I played the rest of the video, Cassie, was there any stories that your stepmom told you, or put it in the chat that, hey, I'll jump on your channel. You want to tell us some of the stories if you know some? You could jump on with us and tell us some of it if you want.
Did you ever have an awesome experience there?
She said lots of stuff happened. Would you want to come up here, Cassie? I mean, you don't have to, but if you want to come up here and tell us some of that story, I think the people in the chat, everybody's watching this, would love to hear some of it.
Love to hear that.
Upstairs that led nowhere and that would plunge you to the ground below if you stepped through it. At one point, the house was 7 stories tall, but the 1906 earthquake knocked 3 stories off. You have to wonder why Sarah Winchester was hell-bent on tirelessly adding to her house.
Well, she didn't tell. Okay.
She believed that the spirit would curse her if she ever stopped, and indeed, she took the earthquake as a sign of their anger. Some believe that she built the house as a labyrinth of sorts, trying to confuse the ghosts so that they would have trouble finding her. It's rumored she slept in a different bedroom every night. There are over 40 bedrooms in the house, so she had plenty of choices. Sarah died on September 4th, 1922, and only then did the construction of the house cease. She was 83 years old. The Winchester Mystery House is now open to tourists who wish to witness firsthand the strange architecture of the building, and, if you're a believer, maybe even catch a glimpse of some scary apparition. But remember, if you ever visit the house, don't wander away from the group. If you get lost, you may never find your way out. If you like...
Now, I actually went there as a kid. I remember we're going somewhere. I can't remember where. I think it was basketball camp. And in our school on the way took us to, because we're going to San Jose College to go to basketball camp to learn from college players. And I think we went there, and of course we went there. I mean, nothing happened when it was there. So not saying it's not haunted or not haunted. When I was there, but I was there with the group daytime. And I think some hauntings ain't going to mess around when you have a group, or there's too much noise when you're in with the group. You know, it's just too many things going on. Workers are there during the day. I mean, I guess I would say to really try to see if there's really a true haunting there, it'll probably have to be more at night, where maybe like Anthony and I are the only ones in the place to allow us, or maybe with the tour person, not with the group.
When you go with the tour, you see, I don't like to go with the tour person because then they're always talking and
Yeah, I agree.
things. I like to go there with just me and my guys and silence and like to figure everything out for ourselves. You know what I mean? If you want to give me the backstory, that's one thing. But walking through a facility with somebody and he's telling you this is where this ghost did this and that one did that, then it's like feeding stuff into your head.
Yeah, I agree.
Try to expect.
I wonder. I don't know about for today's date. I don't know if they allow private people to go by themselves. I don't know. That's what I'd be interested to know, because I wonder if they do or not, because they're probably worried that maybe you're going to steal stuff. So I wouldn't mind going where they can follow, like you said, but don't tell us the story. We're just going to follow, and they can watch us, make sure we're not taking nothing. But I don't know what the rules are nowadays. Now, I do got a couple more videos, but I want to share the screen here first. It says, everything you think you know about the Winchester house probably isn't true. Probably. Oh, actually, hold on a second. No, I don't want that one. That's later. I want to go with this one. Let's see here. Winchester, 5 haunting things that are weirdly true about the Helen Mirren horror movie. Actually, I got to tell you guys, I'm going to be honest with you guys. That movie is so fucking boring. I'm sorry. That movie is so boring. I cannot watch that movie again. I watched it once at the theater, and I was like, wow.
Really?
I mean, I'm not saying they should scare it up for you. I'm not going to say that.
Why didn't you like it?
But I'm sorry.
What did you like about it, Mo?
It was just too boring for me. It's one of those movies that, I saw it once. All right. Okay. It was good, but it's kind of a movie that you don't go back to, for me.
I thought the concept was cool, where she had them nailed into the rooms and all of that. I mean, she was playing a period piece. I think she captured the likeness and the character well. I think the storyline was a little out there, though. You know what I mean? How they did it? Yeah.
It wasn't like bad. It just wasn't the movie. You seen it? Okay, I saw it. That's good. Kind of like when they remade the Amityville horror movie with Deadpool guy, whatever his name is. You guys know Deadpool, but I watched it like, okay, no, not a bad.
Ryan Reynolds.
It was like, okay, I watched it once. That's good. I don't need to see it again. I actually rather watch the original Amityville horror movie than the one with Ryan Reynolds. And of course, I knew it was going to be off when they made it PG-13, because that's when, they want to make more money than actually bringing some scares. Okay, so we know she was haunted by angry spirits that killed her family, firearms at the center of the ghost story Winchester. Okay, let me see here. There was a real Sarah Winchester. So we know that's true. We know that part's true. Let's see here. Her Winchester house is a marvel in opulent oddness. The home started with 8 rooms. By 1906, it was 7 stories high with the estimated 90 rooms. That's a lot of rooms.
Yeah. Sure.
Man, Anthony, you and I could start a cult there.
Imagine.
I don't. If somebody, I don't know. Eric, if somebody goes, Eric, you can have this house. You can own this house. I'm just wondering, do I want to own it? Because the taxes alone on this house is got to be outrageous. And my God, the upkeep for this house has got to be just, there's no way I can afford the upkeep.
Yeah. Now you got me thinking. I wonder how much they blow in taxes there. That's in California, right?
Yes. And California taxes, like New York, New York and, California are probably like the highest taxes. And San Jose, near San Francisco, I mean, that's high-end tax prices over there. So, it's, let me see here. The home's bizarre features include a door to nowhere, which we know that's true. The Winchester Mystery House has fascinating features, stairways that go straight into a ceiling. Doorway opens to a two-story drop. They're designed with number 13, closet with 13 hangers and pegs, hall with 13 ceiling panels. So she liked the number 13. Possible explanation, very attempt at confusing haunting spirits, design miscues resulting from constant construction. Now, part of the story is, it's designed like this to confuse the ghost.
Right.
To confuse the ghost. If that was her real design, I mean, we went there. We never talked to her.
They had staircases that went to nowhere, doors that opened to nothing, all kinds of crazy stuff like that.
And people, please, in the chat. I can't read everybody in the chat, but type in all the information you know about Winchester. The Great Earthquake rocked it. The infamous 1906 San Francisco earthquake, rather than the film's rampage spirits, did several damage Winchester homes of tapping her in a room. They had to free her with a crowbar, Bummy says. Wow. The terrifying Winchester tore down the 3 damaged floors and spent more time on her nearby houseboat, but continued building out. In 1922, she died of a heart failure in her bedroom at Winchester House at the age of 82. I'll tell you one thing.
It's a long life.
That's a long life, especially in 1922. I mean, they didn't have the medical medicine to keep people alive.
She had more money than God. You know what I mean? She could be well taken care of for the time, I'm sure.
Yeah. But
I even, don't believe in drinking alcohol or anything like that either.
Yeah, it's just amazing because the average lifespan back in those days were 40s and 50s and 60s. Yeah. 60s is you're lucky.
You're old.
You're old, yeah.
He's probably
visitors still insist it's haunted. Well, first of all, even if it's not haunted, say there really was not one evidence of a haunt. You're always going to have people that say it's haunted. You're always going to have people that say it's not haunted. You're going to have skeptics. You're going to have people that's for it. That's just the way it is. You're going to find 50-50 on all sides. So that's things we do know what the movie showed. Of course, we know it's proof, but how haunted it is, that's the question. Now, one of the stories goes that, a lot of the ghosts there are from the Winch. For every gun that was created that killed somebody, they're saying that's a haunting that's in that house. Now, I don't know.
Her infant daughter died in that house. And then a few years later, her husband was taken by tuberculosis in that house as well. So, and then she believed when she was left alone, believed that she was haunted by all the spirits of those that were taken by the Winchester rifle. So,
and that's, I mean, it's up to you what people want to believe. That's a hard one for me to say that's exactly why it could be haunted, because yes, I know they made the product, but it still takes a person to use it on somebody else. It wasn't on the property. Yes, they own a product that their company made, so I don't know if that would guarantee. Well, I mean, I'm no expert, but I don't know.
Check this out, Eric. 24,000 square foot was the property. 10,000 windows, 2,000 doors, 160 rooms, 52 skylights, 47 stairways and fireplaces, 17 chimneys, 13 bathrooms, 6 kitchens, built at a price tag of the $5 million in 1923 dollars, mind you, which would be around $71 million today. Think about that kind of scuttle they spent on that. But what remained is indeed a mystery. Even before her passing, rumors of a mystery house being built by an eccentric and wealthy woman swirled while she was inducted to build this home by a psychic. So a psychic talked her into building the home this way. Amazing.
Yeah. See, that's why there's questions to be asked. You know, is it really haunted? Because I don't think if there's ghosts there, I don't think it's from the guns. Just because they're not done there, they're done by individual people who did bad things. So I don't know if a ghost will go. Well,
I agree. You can't blame the person that created the weapon.
Yes,
I
exactly.
would blame the person on the other end firing the weapon.
Because if I'm a ghost, right, I got shot. Well, instead of me haunting that person who shot me, I'm going to go through the weapon place and go through. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like, I don't know. Here's another video.
True.
Winchester Mystery House, one of the most haunted places in the world. Mary, go to. Let's see. Flashlight tours. These are people.
What fascinates me about the history of this house is that so much is unknown. I mean, it is called Winchester Mystery House for a reason. Why was it built with so many architectural oddities, like doors that lead to the outside or staircases that lead to the ceiling? So you are exploring Sarah Winchester's incredible mansion with a little flashlight and maybe just a friend or two, alone.
When I first started, I was a little nervous. The hair stood up on the back of my neck a little bit.
Using a little flash in a big space, dark room, you don't know what's gonna happen until you flash your light at it.
We have collected a lot of the more popular stories associated with paranormal or unexplained happenings here at Winchester Mystery House. And you're going to get to hear about those stories as you explore through the home. And oftentimes you're hearing about them in the exact space where it was witnessed.
I had a friend that said she saw a ghost. I heard a knock that no one else heard. And we all heard a weird creaky noise at one time.
I just got the shivers like something was watching me when I was in there.
Now, first of all, noises, you do got to listen to the noise. I get that. But it is, let's just be honest, it is a really huge house, and it is an older house, right. And there are known to make noises. It's just like one of the things, when I was on the Queen Mary ship, I've been on ships, of course, with the Coast Guard and all that. Those places look spookier when you're there. The noises on ships are not, people. I can see where people think that could be a knocking or ghost sound, or you think you see weird shadows like on a ship because all the metal there. It's easy for flashes of light to beam, and it looks like there's a shadow. They're not. So I don't, we can't necessarily say because they heard noises. It is an older house. Oh yeah, if nobody knows, if I didn't tell nobody, on April 1st, April Fool's Day, I will personally be back on the Queen Mary ship. If I didn't tell anybody last night, I will be back on the Queen Mary ship on April 1st.
Mary, Eric?
I'm going to be there for 2 nights.
Where is it? Where is
Long Beach? Long Beach, California.
Long Beach, California.
It's because we're going to be visiting the happiest place on the planet with the kids. So on the way there,
with the family.
So on the way, we got 2 days before we do those things. We decided to go back to Queen Mary. Anybody saw my Queen Mary videos from 3-4 years ago? I walked around with my son and daughter. Going to be doing the same thing. Of course, I'm bringing my EVP.
You should buy an EM pump.
What's that?
You should buy an EM pump, electromagnetic pump. It puts magnetic fields into the atmosphere, and allegedly it helps bring the ghosts to come forward, the spirit energy to come forward. Never know. Maybe you could talk to Amber about setting something up to bring with you. She can help you out before you go.
That's the difference. I am going to be bringing more toys this time than last time. It was just like me and the kids. I had an EVP. We had a camera taking pictures to see if we capture like a ghosty thing. Of course, we did it. But doesn't mean it's not haunted. It wasn't haunted for me when I was there. So if somebody asked me, like, Eric, do you think it's haunted? Well, nothing's happened to me. Not saying it's not haunted, but when I was there for 2 days, it wasn't. But it's time for me to go back.
Who knows?
Give it another shot. I did try to make phone calls to them to say, hey, can I have some permission to go to certain areas? And unless you're a studio, unless unless you're with Discovery Plus.
Order a press pass. That's all you need. Go on Pinterest, order a press pass, put Paranormal Highway YouTube on it. That's it. You're
I'll
an
try.
independent journalist, and that's it.
People.
Credibility.
And people, they got this one room on Queen Mary that's supposed to be the haunted room. The haunted room. Depending on what time of year you go, the cheapest that room is, like in wintertime, like over $800.
Hell no, for the night?
I'm serious.
What?
I'm serious. $800 in the summer, Halloween time, that room could go over $1,000. And I'm going to tell you something.
$1,000. I better have a Dan Aykroyd experience.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm gonna say that. I better have a Dan Aykroyd, because you're going to tell me that all the ghosts they all automatically hang out in one room.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I'm sorry, even on the cheapest price day, $700, whatever. Say it was down $700. You stay there. Nothing has happened. Oh my God. I'll be so, because it's not like paying $200-$300, or you pay to have permission to go on a piece of property. You're paying that much to be in a room for a whole night. You goddamn right, something better happen.
That
You
better be
that
better be a paranormal bordello, that room, for that kind of money.
Yeah, it's crazy. Before I go, I'll probably do a whole show on Queen Mary to tell you guys that room, and there's some videos of some people who paid that price and went in there, and of course,
nothing.
they all no. They all felt it. They all see it. But, but it's like, did they really feel something? Listen, everybody always says they feel chills, and I'm not saying they don't. But sometimes in your mind, you're going somewhere that's supposed to be really haunted, and you're going in there. Sometimes your fear and the way you're thinking can change your body temperature a little bit. Not saying you're not having that experience, but when it's the same thing like you're saying, like why the shows play that music or do scenes.
That's your
put
mind
it already in your head.
Exactly.
So there we go.
The anxiety you get when you're in there, it's like a rush. It makes it fun.
I agree with you. There is a rush.
Sarah Winchester, she fell in love with and married the second president of the Winchester Repeating Arms Company, William Wirt Winchester. They had a baby girl named Annie who unfortunately passed away at just a few weeks old, and William passed away not long after. Sarah began to feel really cursed. She sought out a medium, and the medium told her that the gun that won the West, all of the karma associated with that was haunting her and her family.
Somebody
and
got
she
in her
went
head.
out west and built a house to appease the spirits and maybe confuse the bad ones.
Because if that was the case, almost every single CEO probably be a percentage of family dropping off. And I'm not saying to be joking about it, but automatically it's only going to be them. So that's why I think that medium. Because remember, it's easier to be a fraud back then than it is now, because people got tools. We got people that know how to read lips now, body language, lie detectors. Back then, they didn't have none of that. None of it.
Back then, those mediums, because they were mostly scam artists, they did their due diligence. They went and investigated the person they were going to talk to through and through. They knew every single thing about you. And then they just regurgitated it back to you and scared the shit out of you.
And you're right, Pam. I really do feel bad for her. They took advantage of her when she's at her lowest point. I mean, losing a kid, that's horrible, because no parent should ever, I hate to say it, you should die first. That's the way you want. You want them to live the longest life you can. So what that...
No parent should outlive their child.
Easy. And just, I can't imagine that. And that's a feeling I don't ever want to have. And I feel bad for anybody. And just think about when you're at that point and you're seeing a con person. That's just...
My cousin just passed away the other night, 28 years old. I can't even imagine what my aunt's going through right now. The whole family, we're all going through it. But, I mean, my poor aunt, I can't even...
Yeah, I know.
Even imagine.
Listen, when my brother passed, at the time, he was only like 52 and stuff, and it's like, that's way too soon and that kind of stuff. And it's just, and of course, of course, as a brother, you know how that kind of feels. But
Get it.
there is a difference too of a brother or sister and your own child. Because you were born to protect. You felt you were the protector, and you felt like you failed in a lot of ways. So I could feel for her. And if those mediums did that, I think they really took advantage of her, and it's just sad.
Yeah,
it's really sad.
She would live forever, and in a way she has, because this house is still here, being enjoyed and visited by guests from around the world. We have done flashlight tours historically. What's different this year is that guests cannot be combined with any other parties that they don't live with. So it necessitates us offering an experience that is truly self-guided with just you and your immediate household unit.
I loved it because I love history. And I'm a big history buff, so this was really fantastic for me. And I was looking for ghosts.
I've done the tour before in the daylight, the regular tour, so having to do this tour in like a different way, it's kind of like very interesting.
Really odd and just kind of bizarre walking through and seeing this weird architecture. So that's what I liked about it.
This truly is a living time machine, and coming here is like stepping back into Sarah's time.
I was a little scared at first, but then I started to get less scared, and it was really fun.
It's just an experience that you have to experience for yourself.
I'm sorry to bring stuff up. I feel so bad. I feel so bad for my cousin on my dad's side and my mom's side. My cousin gave birth. Yeah, she wrote one left and one brought in the world. That's just
terrible. Sorry.
That is just horrible. And I didn't mean to bring that up. And I know it's hard for anybody to write stuff. So thank you for trusting us and bringing something so personal up. I mean, all that. Now I am. Oh, I gotta show you this. I couldn't believe one of my favorite channels. One of my favorite channels is Grandpa's World. Anthony, I love your channel. You're not.
I'm kidding.
but yeah, he put out this video, and dude, he never told me he did this. I was shocked.
You told me about this channel. We've seen something there before, Grandpa's
yeah,
World.
But Anthony, hold on.
He only does videos every so often, right?
I know, but watch what he's wearing.
Don't even tell me.
He's wearing a Paranormal Highway shirt. He never even told me. He never told me he bought a shirt.
That's great.
I'm like, and he just puts this out I'm like, that's my logo.
That is so cool when shit like that happens.
Oh my God. And he never even told me. And I'm like,
Central Africa.
Zombies in Africa 60,000 years ago. So he's my friend. I love this guy. He comes out, tells you UFO stories, ghost stories, and all that. He just does it for fun. So if you guys ever get a chance, go to his channel, click on that video, and tell him you love that shirt.
That's great.
Do that for me. And when I saw that, I was just like,
were you just like sporadically going through his channel and you seen it? Because that would be awesome.
No, that's his newest video.
Yeah, I mean, you just turned it on and boom, you had your shirt on.
Yep,
that's so awesome.
I didn't even know. He just put this out yesterday. You know how you go to your subscribers, see what new videos came out for the people you're subscribed to. And I saw it there, and I'm like, that's my shirt.
That's so cool, man.
That little bastard didn't even tell me.
That happened to me when I found out Angel Wings had her channel, and I went on and she was wearing the tank top from my show. That's really cool when stuff like that happens.
It really is. It really is, because I love him, because a lot of times he does his videos, he'll have his Black Sabbath shirt, he'll have something on, and it's just wonderful. So now I do have another Winchester video, but before I play that, let me show this one webpage called The Top 10 Lies About the Winchester Mystery House. Now remember, we can't hide the truth that there's some people saying it's all a lie. You can't be the channel to only show parts of a story and not show the other side. Otherwise, you're just different than anybody else. Like, oh, there's lies about it? Oh no, there's not. No, we're gonna see here. Top 10 lies. Top 10 lies. Here we go. The house was under construction for 38 years.
Yeah, that sounds a little odd to me too.
Well, what it says here in the history in a nutshell, Sarah Winchester, the Winchester here's to the Winchester rifle fortune, moved to San Jose in 1886. Room was numbered 160 at the time. It was large. Here, so right here, here we go. Here we go on the bottom. And we're not unless, okay, here we go. Construction lasted in night for 38 years. Not true, says Ignoto.
No.
Winchester own letters explained that she sent workers away for months at a time. Requests for an interview with officials at the Winchester house have not answered at the time. So basically, when I look further into the story, what went on is if they were there every single day, the house would have been completed like just a normal 2-3 years back in that time. But she kept, for a lot of the time, she kept sending workers home for half a year. So they were never there to complete it from the beginning to the end. She kept firing, coming back, firing, coming back. So she might have done something that took 30 years to do the final complete. That's because they were never working all the way through. Sarah Winchester was ashamed of the Winchester rifle legacy, because you heard that she was ashamed. She is.
All the death and everything from the gun.
She says here, a sense of pride was more likely than one of guilt. It is highly unlikely that Sarah Winchester felt responsible or guilty for the manufacture of firearms, and she did not hesitate to invest and spend the money she earned from them. So what they're saying is the money she made, she reinvested a lot of her money back into the company. So you would think if somebody is blaming the rifle, why would you invest money back into that company? It's different if she took that money, invested in areas against them or for help or something at a hospital. No, she invested it back into the rifle company. So that's why one of the things I don't think that the hauntings are due to any part of the guns being used out there for the wrong reason. There we go. Sarah Winchester constructed weird features to order to confuse spirits. You see here on the bottom half, the stairs and doors that led to nowhere are merely were damaged and has been sealed off where a landing had fallen away. After the earthquake, she moved to another house. Explains. She did not want to make necessary repairs. It had nothing to do with ghosts. So according to that story, is the one that go to nowhere, it was damaged through the
earthquake.
The earthquake, and they did some repairs of the stairs, but they didn't do nothing. They blocked it off. So a lot of going nowhere saying it was due to the earthquake. Now remember, this is what they're saying. We're
all that money you think, damage to the house, she's not going to fix it. Got to think about that too.
Yeah, Eric, you have a spottic echo going.
I just checked on the other.
I didn't hear it no more.
I didn't hear it. Sometimes the microphone gets too close because it's on the arm, and you might get an echo for a second, but then it'll adjust.
Let's see here. Sarah Winchester had seances.
Seances.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I kind of see. Yeah, seances. I should be wearing my glasses. I should really should. You see, to suggest, as a tour guides do, that Sarah held solo seances in an interior closet of the house misrepresented the social nature of the ritual, she says. If she wanted to hold a seance, she would have held it in the front pair of the spiritualists did. Hold on. She adds that there are no mentions of a seance rooms in her house before. A 1928 propaganda article published well after Sarah died. So apparently she never mentioned at all from her own mouth that she did a seance there. You know, if she did or not,
I'm sure she did.
But you know what? If she did, would that be something that you automatically go tell somebody that you did? I mean,
to me, this somebody with all her money and all her stature, right? She's not gonna, and those seances and shit were frowned upon back then because everybody was like religious fanatics back then. It was heresy back then. So you don't think somebody her stature is gonna do it in private in her home? Invite the medium that she spoke to. All right, come to my home. We'll do it in my home in private. That's what I would do if I was her back then. No,
I agree with you 100%. Cosmic Neighbors is in the chat. Hey, Cosmic Neighbors, if you still want to, Ron, I did email you the link if you want to jump on. That's up to you. So let's go to the next one here. Let's go. Sarah Winchester was obsessed with the number 13. Well, you guys heard in the video 13, 13, 13. The website details the occurrence of 13 in the house. 13 rope hooks in the same room. 13 panes of glass in several windows. Stairway with 13 steps. Just to name a few. It says the facts are used as evidence to prove the woman was ruled for superstition. Reference to the number 13 were added after Sarah's death. Interesting, right? After her death, according to workers at the time, she says the 13 hooks were added about 5 years ago. When the article came out. So apparently everything with 13 came in after she died. Now, listen, all because even she did things at 13, if that's her favorite number, it doesn't necessarily mean if your favorite number is 13. I love the number 13. It doesn't mean I love the number. Well, I kind of like it because it's supposed to be bad luck and ghosts, and I heard 13 a lot. I love Friday the 13th, but it doesn't mean anything of a place being haunted with 13, you know. But it is. But what I like about this story is apparently all the 13 was done after she died. See, there's a difference there. I mean, it's almost like after, you know, move on with 13, because if they did it after she's dead, it doesn't even matter if she thought the number was evil. She didn't do anything with 13. Let's see here.
This was when Ron and I went on the paranormal investigation on Staten Island, and it's pitch black. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face. And Ron's walking with the IR light, and you can only see that through the camcorder, you know? And all of a sudden he turns around, he flashes it on the house number, and it was 13. And Eric and I were talking about, you know, the number 13 that same day. It's crazy.
There's a little Easter egg. You see that picture?
Which one? Oh,
there's a little Easter,
the top window.
there's a little Easter egg.
Yeah,
I haven't noticed it.
Shit. That's all.
I put the hand of Anthony's and Ron's paranormal investigation.
That is awesome.
So that is not a hand in the picture. I put it there. I thought I was hoping that somebody goes, Eric, is that the hand that was on their investigation?
The minute you said that, I caught that right away, man. That's so cool. That is so cool, dude.
I thought you have a kick out of that.
Oh yeah. What's up, Bigfoot Anon? Oh yeah, and real quick, Long Island Bigfoot, congratulations. He just hit 17,000 subscribers on his channel. Congratulations, Mike. Well done.
It is. It's my opinion. It's well deserved because he's just a cool, honest guy. He's just a fun guy. He loves what he does. You know, you can't ask for anything better.
Oh yeah.
You know. And let me see okay, sorry. The house looks today as it did then. The house that Sarah Winchester built and stood 7 stories at its highest. The upper floors toppled in an earthquake of 1906. She did not replace the upper stories. Today's house looks much smaller than the original. Huh. So when the house was originally built, because of the earthquake, they never rebuilt it back to the height. Okay, that's nothing really. superhuge shit. Anthony and I looked at the house, we wouldn't know the difference between the size of back then because we weren't living back then.
No.
Biggest house we'll ever be. Sarah Winchester snubbed the president of the United States. Huh. The story goes that Theodore Roosevelt attempted to visit Sarah at her home in 1903, but was turned away. This is used as an example of her alleged weirdness. Says that rumors likely stared about Sarah because in life she was extremely private, refused to addressing gossip, and she did not engage much in the community. Says the infamous presidential visit never occurred. Eyewitness accounts state that the president carriage never stopped at the Winchester place, she says. Furthermore, Winchester had rented a house near San Francisco that year to prepare for the wedding of her niece. She was not at home. Honestly, I don't even remember a story.
That story, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess...
Didn't the United States military buy the Winchester repeating rifle? It's basically was the sales pitch for that rifle was the rifle that won the war. So I doubt you would snub the president, the one guy that's telling Congress we got to buy that, the repeating Winchesters,
Yeah. The house is publicly owned. The Winchester house is listed in the National Registry of Historic Places through the documentations is terribly flawed. You are led to believe it. It's a national landmark, and many people believe that means it is a publicly owned or a non-profit. The house is privately owned and is for-profit enterprise. In fact, the historian says that the house is still owned by the descendant of the Brown family, and they reside in the Bay Area. On a recent tour, when asked who owns the house, our tour guide answered by saying, "I don't know. And when we were hired, we signed a document that makes us swear we will not discuss it or look it up." Now that's interesting.
Mm.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Non-disclosure agreement.
Depending on who owns it, they probably don't want to be bothered by it. They probably don't want people to go to their place and say, "Hey, can we, private tours?"
Yeah.
Anybody knows the head coach of New England Patriots? What's his name? The head coach of New England Patriots. That man, you can never get anything from that guy. He don't tell you nothing. I'm thinking Sarah's probably the same way as that coach, where she don't want to mess with people. She wants to be alone. She don't care. And honestly, why should she care?
Bill Belichick, you talking about?
Belichick. You can never get answers from Belichick. He don't care. He don't care who you are. He doesn't give a rat's ass. Now that, if somebody goes, "Eric, hey, Eric, Joe Biden wants to come to my house." Like, I don't.
I let him probably forget his wallet on my couch. Probably make out like a bandit.
When I go to cons, they sell these autographs for like $70-80. I honestly, I will not pay $70 or anything for an autograph, because I listen. An autograph is just somebody's hand moving on a pen. If somebody wants to sign something for me on a piece of paper or a picture without money, okay, I might put it up. But I honestly don't care if somebody signs something for me. I mean, that's just if I had to pay somebody to it means nothing for them towards you. If somebody famous went to Anthony and said, "Anthony, I love what you're doing. I love your show," and signed something for Anthony, but that guy did it for a reason. He likes his show. He's signing it. But if Anthony had to pay somebody famous to do a signature for them,
but don't get me wrong, I got autographed things, but I won't go seek somebody out to get their autograph.
Exactly, that's what I mean. I mean, because they're not signing it really for you. They're just doing it for business. Who was it? I kind of remember. There was a famous baseball player. couple kids went up to a baseball player. They brought some cards to have the player sign, and the player looked at the cards. Oh, we can't sign these kind of cards because it wasn't. I can't remember who that was. That's a bastard. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can you imagine you're a kid and because you have Tops, but it wasn't the company that the guy is on, like Upper or whatever they call the other guy. To me, that's wrong. I can't stand people like that. You know, that's when sponsorship took over the world.
Yeah, it messed the world.
Last one.
Zach Granecki, or however you pronounce his name.
Was that it?
Yep.
That's just so wrong. After her death, no one stepped forward to tell the truth. Okay. Let me see here. Former neighbors and workers, along with 2 young men, were raised on the Winchester Ranch, attempted to tell the press and the public about the interesting and good woman that Mrs. Winchester was. The stories fell on deaf ears, and successfully, the Mystery House marketing over the years has made it extremely difficult to find a trace of truth about the real person. The Post was originally published in 2013. Well, how can you find the truth anymore anyway, right? I mean, it's back in she died in 1923. I'm sure everybody who knew her is probably dead now too. And if they are alive somehow, they were a baby back then. You know, does it really matter? Well, I guess nowadays when you start learning the truth about some people, I guess you start learning, oh wow, that person's a fraud, that person's a fake. But I do have one more video from Winchester. This is where a group tour went on Halloween night. Let's see if they find anything. Halloween night tour returns to Winchester Mystery House.
Your Bay Area Halloween traditions is back. It's walking through the Winchester Mystery House in the dark.
Ooh, very spooky. As KPIX5's Len Ramirez shows us, it's part of a new paranormal experience where the mystery lives on.
Well, we're inside the Winchester Mystery House, and this is where Sarah Winchester lived and died. And it's said that her spirit is still inside this building. And you too this Halloween can make an appearance, or if you prefer, a disappearance in this hallowed mansion.
It'll be fun to go there on Halloween night.
The staircase that leads to nowhere. The dead-end doorways and the mazes built inside the Victorian mansion to confuse the spirits that haunted Sarah Winchester are all part of what for many is a paranormal experience.
We came during the day because it's pretty spooky and we wanted to make sure we were safe
during
the daylight hour.
Tours had to be cut back last year because of COVID, but they're booking fast this Halloween as the Mystery House makes a comeback with a new All Hallows Eve experience.
We have an indoor tour called Lost in the House that happens at night, and it is sort of a ghost investigation gone wrong that you actually take part in. The whole estate is activated in ways that we've never done with this jack-o'-lantern trail.
The house has been open for tours since 1923. The surrounding neighborhood has now been transformed in ways Mrs. Winchester could never have imagined. Santana Row is across the street, and new high-rises have sprung up all around the old mansion.
And even as the area gets developed and Silicon Valley gets bigger and bigger, our attendance only grows, and people really, I think, are moved by the story.
How much grief she experienced in a short amount of time.
And many say being here is like taking part in a spooky story, at least for those who do believe in ghosts.
I do. I feel like I've seen a ghost or two in my life.
Good evening, Len Ramirez, KPIX5.
It'd be fun going there on Halloween night.
Say how much they charge for that tour.
You know what? Let's take a look. Let me pull up let me see here. New tab. Winchester Mystery House.
Tour price.
Right here, tickets. Buy tickets. Okay. Buy tickets. Okay. Daily mansion, estate tours, flashlight tours. There's flashlight tours. There's a sentimental speaker series.
Click one that says buy tickets. It should tell you a price.
Yeah, flashlight tours. Let's see. Here we go. Daily. Let's just go through the basic first. We'll go with the basic first, and we'll
20
go
to 41. It said $41.99
for people between ages of 1364. Now that's the now what's the flashlight tours?
That must be
$49.99.
That's nighttime.
So that's nighttime, and then what's this one? Sentimental speaker series. Order now.
Series.
Order now.
Oh, the 100th anniversary, the centennial.
What is this one?
Houdini
Spirit
Escape. Oh, so they have like different themes. They have different theme nights. That's what it is.
Yeah, and
$20.
So you can see there's different ones, but the main tour. What's axe throwing? Do we get to throw an axe? $10.
I mean, $50 is a little steep, though. No, per person.
I know.
Go there with a family of 4. You're out $200.
Look, gardens only. So if you just want to go in the gardens,
what do they hit?
No tickets available. Oh, because it's probably winter time. What's ADA tour? $20 ADA tour. ADA tour. Oh, is a wheelchair accessible experience. Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
That is cool.
Leave checkout. So
beautiful piece of property, man.
You could do book an event. Like if we get enough people, you and I, we could book an event. An event they'll remember.
Look at that.
I bet you don't. Will they give you a price? Oh, I'm sure you got to send a request. Okay.
Have a nice, cool reception there. Imagine like you and you get married. You and your wife are like into like paranormal stuff. You have like your reception there at the Winchester house. You know, you have your bridal reception there. That would be pretty cool. Your wedding reception there.
That would be cool. I mean, the house alone is worth wanting to go inside to look at it, not for ghosts, even without the ghosts, just to see this. You know, why all these stairs and all these going to nowhere. Just how the house was built is interesting enough. Now, you know, it did say that she haunts the house. I could kind of see that because she built this crazy house in her mind and all that, living there for so long and die. I mean, that could be a possibility, you know, that. But overall, I mean, what do you really think about the Winchester house? Do you think it's haunted? Do you think the stories are kind of true for it?
I never been there, so I've never been to California, so I don't know. I would like to go check it out. I want to believe that it's real. Someday maybe I'll get over there. I'll go check it out. I don't believe all the claims are legitimate, but I believe there's definitely ghosts in there. Stories got to come from somewhere, right? Yeah,
I mean, any place could be haunted, and I believe that any place can get haunted for whatever reasons. So who says, you know, a ghost has never been there? Yeah, it probably is crazy. But like you said, I don't think the ghosts are there because of the weapons themselves.
Yeah.
But you never, you know, still, where was the house built on? Were there people murdered there before them? You know, listen, when California was being made in the West, a lot of people died.
You know what? They didn't touch on one thing though. I was so curious about the movie that she reconstructed the rooms to the way that the people died. Remember? So one guy got shot in the gun room at one of the factories, and she reconstructed our whole room to look like the gun room. I guess that wasn't true. I guess that was just fabricated for the movie.
Yeah, they didn't bring that up. You would think they would have, right? That's a pretty.
I thought that was real when I seen that in the movie. I thought that was real deal. I guess not.
Now, Brown Dwarf says it is haunted. I believe every spot
in California. Have you ever been to Brown Dwarf? Have you ever been to the Winchester Mansion home, mystery home?
probably has. Like I said, I was there as a
had
kid.
ever been there before and had an experience there before.
I do need to visit it again, but of course, I can't visit Queen Mary and that because
Paranormal Pixie been there. Any action when you were there, Lara?
Yeah. We need to put it like on a bucket list. But but if you and I ever got a chance to go there again, or for me to go again, I don't want to be with a tour with people like you said. That's just
privately, right? You would want to try to get in there.
and it would happen. I would want a private and like you said, not with the person walking and talking. I mean, we want quiet.
Let me go in there with my guys for 5 hours and just do the work.
That'd be awesome.
Me, you, Ron, meet up. We get in there for 5 hours. We set all the cameras and everything up, and we just do the thing. Have Brown Dwarf and Lara come meet us. That would be cool.
Oh man,
right?
That'd be fun.
Get Dina P on the EVPs. How I win the lottery on security, ground security.
Man, at that time, just some cold spots. Yeah, I mean, unless you're there for like I said, at least 5 hours or more and stuff, it's probably hard to, depending on how fast they're rushing you out.
You could be there for 5 hours. You could be there for 2 days and nothing can happen, and then another team could go in and boom, something just happens. You know what I mean? It's the luck of the draw, man.
It really is. Really is. I'm gonna share one last screen, and then we'll see here. So we got this Project Horizon, American Moon Base, and that's up this Wednesday. American Moon Base. I never really heard of this story, so I'm very interested in it.
Really? So Project Horizon was a 1959 study that determined the feasibility of constructing the scientific military bases on the moon. So I forget the general's name that was in charge of it back then. It escapes me, but they wanted to send the Army and the Navy to the moon to build these bases. So we're gonna dig into that, and then I'm also gonna see if Ron has anything about what the plans are for the new current moon base that's going up there, and in the next couple of years we're gonna have a base on the moon. I also remember Ron telling us about they're building a sperm bank on the moon too, like an ark. Yeah, no, I'm dead serious. They're building a sperm bank on the moon. Yeah, it's already in play.
Is it to
I made the same face when I heard it, man. It's gonna be like an ark on the moon. When God forbid anything goes down, they'll be able to recreate life if need be, to preserve humanity.
It sounds like a lot like the movie Interstellar, where the idea was the life Earth is already done for, so they have the materials to create the life all over again somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm dead serious, Dina. Let me get the link.
I have never heard of that. I haven't.
Scientists want to send 6.7 million sperm samples to the moon. Yeah, it's in the New York Post. Yeah,
that sucks for me.
It's called
what if
insurance policy?
But that sucks because what if I wanted to volunteer some of me for the future?
You're the last person they're letting drop a load on the head, Eric.
I'm fixed. My stuff's dead.
Thank God. You can't reappropriate. Thank God. Let your son do it because he's smart. He's a genius, that kid. Let your son repopulate. Let Oliver repopulate the world.
I gotta tell you guys real quick. I gotta tell my wife real quick.
In the chat,
my wife actually watched that video on Cosmic Neighbors when my son jumps on, and my wife started laughing because she heard somebody saying he was adopted.
He's very bright, man, for a high school senior. God bless him, man. God bless him. You let him do your taxes, right? Your son, you don't do them. He does them, right?
One thing I will tell you what I let him do. When I get those voting books on like vote for Prop 186 something. He actually reads it all, and I go, "What do you think?" And he'll tell me why. Okay, good enough for me.
God bless him. That's a smart kid, man. When you were telling us how smart he was and how articulate, I thought you were screwing around till he got on. He really knew his stuff. Man.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask Ron something behind the scenes if I see him because I want to set something up. But I'll save that when I'm talking about when we see Ron because I want to do a science show. And it doesn't matter if it's on my channel, his channel, your channel, with them on a Saturday morning.
When Ron got talking about science, Eric and I are like this. And we're just watching Ron go. He's the science folk. We don't know.
That's about it. But beyond that, guys, thank you guys for. It's really cool. I mean, it's really honest. You know, even if it's just one person in the chat, just to spend time with us. I mean, you guys don't know how cool that is. That people are spending time just listening to a couple bozos talking about Winchester, and all that. And it's really is cool, and it's an honor to have you guys watch us, and we appreciate all of you for being here today. It is freaking cool. It's the most coolest kind of people goes, Eric, if you take a drug, what's your favorite drug? It's watching people in the chat talking with us. I mean, that's like a drug rush that you just don't get, knowing that some people actually care to listen to us. I mean, that's a couple.
I love after you do a show and you go back and you read the comments and they tell you how much they love and appreciate the show, or you get an email that says, "Hey, would you guys do a show on this or whatever?" I love the interaction. That's
awesome.
That's the best part. That shows people give a shit. You know what I mean? That's important.
That is awesome. And guys, you guys know my email address, paranormalhighway13@gmail.com. If you guys have a certain story that you think is interesting, you email me, you email Anthony and stuff. And a lot of times we'll take your story and this is interesting. Let's talk about it. So you guys can actually attribute to what a topic is. So beyond that, everybody, I'll see you next time.
Take care, everyone.